How's it going, everyone? I was going to do a full Gears 5 review with narration and gameplay and all that juicy stuff, but unfortunately, um, my internet isn't really working right now, so I can't access my OneDrive, and because I can't access my OneDrive, I can't access my Xbox DVR recordings to transfer to my computer. In case I can't make a full review, I figured least I could do is talk about the game, right? Can't take that away from me, can you? Life. So, Gears 5. Um, Another year, another gear. It's a game that I want to like more than I do. And the reason why, basically, it all comes down to one big reason. It's buggy as shit. It's a great game. It's fun as hell, but it's so damn buggy. Let's start with the campaign. I'll talk about all the game modes, but we're gonna go through the campaign. As far as the story goes, I don't want to talk about the story. I don't like talking about stories, when it comes to reviews. All I'm going to say is I liked it. I liked the story. I liked most of the characters, not all of them. A few of them, no, not even a few. Just like one or two are kind of uninteresting. But for the most part, the ensemble and the cast and the performances, the voice acting are all really good. The only downside to the story, in my opinion, is the ending was really rushed out and just very abrupt. It's not a game that feels too short, but when the ending comes, it makes you expect more from it. Um, so aside from the ending, I like the story. There's a lot of talk about like the new open worlds that they introduced. These open worlds are only present in half of the acts, um, and they only take up about a few, maybe like 3 to 5 hours per open world. So you're probably going to spend, if you want to. If you don't want to, if you just want to go straight to the story, man, the whole open world and all the optional side missions and side quests and stuff like that, they're all optional. But if you're like me and you like being thorough and you like doing all the side missions, yeah, you'll probably spend like a good 6 to 10 hours or so exploring these areas. So the game itself, I want to say the campaign is probably somewhere between 12 to 20 hours, depending on how much you explore, and uh, and maybe even more than that, depending on the difficulty you're playing on. I actually enjoyed these open worlds. I know they it feels kind of basic, but maybe it's just my bias when I say that it kind of reminds me of like the exploration in Mass Effect, where you just drive around and once in a while you'll come across some anomaly or, you know, just some area that has some enemies that you want to clear out and you want to find out what's wrong with that area. Stuff like that. I thought was kind of pleasant, actually kind of relaxing, um, even though it was a little generic and um, was kind of uninspired, but it was just something I didn't mind it. A lot of people thought it was kind of a failure. It is what it is. I've played far more tedious open worlds than the one that was presented in Gears 5. Let's talk about the upgrade system. You have a robotic AI teammate called Jack. Funny thing is, you can actually play as Jack um, in co-op, which I haven't done yet, but I am looking forward to it if I can get a match in. He has upgrades that can help you. They actually help you pretty well in fighting. He has like this flash ability that can freeze enemies. He has shields that protect you, and all these different powers that can really change the flow of the gameplay. Um, Gears 5 has the most diverse gameplay and gunplay of the series, um, thanks to these abilities that Jack has. Um, and you find upgrade components by just exploring the area. They're kind of like collectibles, only they actually have some use to them, to the gameplay. They give a good incentive to do those optional side missions in the open world because they do end up helping you a lot, um, especially on higher difficulties. And that was another change that I really liked. Now, here's the thing that really annoys the hell out of me is how buggy the game is. And like the bugs in the game, like, okay, I could play the game for hours and not encounter any problems. But whenever a problem does encounter, I do encounter it. It's not like okay, like that's kind of annoying. It's like wow, like I have to restart like my last checkpoint. Like there's like really, really bad bugs. Like there's checkpoint bugs where it freezes. It doesn't freeze the game, but it stops it from progressing. The game doesn't know what to do past this checkpoint, so it does like this infinite checkpoint loading thing at the corner of the screen while you're just waiting for something to happen. Um, and that's a big problem. And every time I snapped a recording of that, it froze. It locked the controller out. I could still back out with the home button, but I can't. I couldn't like do anything. I couldn't control anything in the pause menu. I couldn't get out. I couldn't. I couldn't scroll down. I couldn't do anything. There was a time when it crashed while I was looking at a map. It was either a map or one of Jack's upgrades, whatever. One of those pages uh, in the select menu. Um, it crashed. So the game has like it's like really poor optimization issues. And this is the only Gears of War game to come out where its launch was really, really buggy. And it has me suspecting that the reason why this is because it's the first open world Gears of War game. I mean, think about it. Like, compare all the open world games that are buggy to all the linear games that are buggy. Like, I can guarantee you that there are far more open world games that are really buggy than there are linear games because it is harder to make open world games. So maybe they're just not Coalition just isn't experienced enough to really know how to make the open world work. So yeah, the campaign. I mean, like I said, it has its ups and downs. I I enjoyed the hell out of it, but whenever something bad happened, it pissed me right the fuck off. You know, between all the times it froze and crashed, I probably wasted about at least an hour of my time playing the game, just restarting checkpoints and shit, and it just got frustrating. I will say that some of the collectibles are pretty nice. There are a couple locations that are kind of like throwbacks to the first Gears of War that's really cool. There's a few locations that kind of bring back that grittiness of the first Gears of War game. But yeah, the campaign, it's good, not amazing. The ending sucked, unfortunately. The last boss wasn't that bad, but the ending was just so like, oh okay, okay, that's it. It's all good, you know. That's it. Whatever. Can't wait for Gear 6. So and of course the second one is Horde, which is the mode that everyone loves the most. You know, it's more of the same as the Horde in Gears of War 4. You know, you got you save points to build defenses and stuff. Um, every 10 waves gets harder. You know, it's Horde. Although one change that they did make was they made like the characters have their own weapons exclusively. You know, like I played as Dell the first time, and I was wondering why the hell my starting weapon was a really shitty Enforcer submachine gun, and an overkill shotgun. Um, I was like, why do I have these guns when like my teammates have better guns? They all have like lancers and you know shit like that. And I looked in the customization for the characters under the Horde classes, and like they have their own classes, but I can't change their guns. So I'm just like, okay. I mean, I don't personally mind it because like I don't mind playing as anybody. I have no problem playing as any of these guys. Because to me they're just like character skins. They're models. Like they all play exactly the same. It's not like one character is super fast in movement and the other, like they all move the same speed. They all do the same, actions and whatnot. Even though it doesn't bother me why they do this. It's just weird, and I can really see it annoying the hell out of other people. Um, so yeah, that's my only gripe with Horde. They put health bars in this game, and sometimes it feels like I'm playing a Destiny game or like a Division game instead of an actual Gears of War game. Um, Again, it's to me it's a nitpicking. I know a few people I talked to had a bigger problem with it than I, but fortunately you can turn them off, which is cool. I like the option to do stuff like that. So if you like them, turn them on, and if not, turn them off. That's cool. Having an option is also, a good thing to do. Now the verses. Okay, like I never liked Gears versus. I never liked how the shotgun was always really overpowered. Everyone uses shotguns. So that means I have to use a shotgun too. Or else I'll just end up getting gibbed the entire time. So yeah, I don't like Gears versus. I don't know if it's my internet connection, but the lag is really bad. But aside from that, it's just more of the same Gears versus. You got the standard, team deathmatch, the Guardian one where you have to protect the leader while trying to kill the other team's leader. It's got King of the Hill, and it also has Domination. That's it for the ranked match game modes. Um, there are like more casual game modes for people who aren't as competitive like myself, and I do enjoy those. And I also like how with those game modes, you can rank up, even though I thought ranked meant ranked, and I'm still getting like XP for both ranked and just arcade classic. I don't know, man. But I like to have these options. Hell, they even have an option where you can just fight the AI, which is super easy that it's stupid, and rather kind of boring. But I don't know. I mean, the more the merrier. And speaking of more the merrier, they have a new um, they have a new game mode called Escape. I know it's kind of insulting to compare it to like Left 4 Dead, but that's kind of what it reminds me of. You're just like a team of three instead of four, but I don't know why it's only three. A team of three, um, just trying to escape a hive, and yeah, it's basically just an extraction minigame. I don't know. I don't I don't have anything else to say about that. I'm not excited to play it when I do play it. It's just something that kind of is tacked on there just for the sake of being like, oh, look at this new game mode. Um, I don't know. I'm indifferent. I mean, I'll probably play it a little bit more, but it's definitely not the biggest draw. As a matter of fact, it's the weakest of the four different parts of the game. I had reports of XP not saving from matches, and I had one instance where I actually beat all 50 waves of Horde during my first game of Horde in Gears 5, and it didn't save anything. It didn't save any XP that I earned, so I didn't level up any. Like I didn't get anything from it. So that kind of discourages me from playing more Horde until this game gets patched. I haven't come across any like intrusive microtransactions. You know, you got your typical like cheap ass, weapon skins and character skins and shit that you have to either grind for or you can buy maybe. But I don't know. I mean, it's like that with every multiplayer game, unfortunately now. So overall, Gears 5 has potential to be one of the better Gears of War games, but as of right now, it's still fun. It's still good when it works, kind of like how Fallout New Vegas was good when it worked, or Battlefield 4 was good when it worked. This is one of those good when it works games, shitty when it doesn't. And so I think my final score would be a very appropriate a 7. I don't want to give it a 6. I think it's a little too high to be a 6, but it's definitely too buggy to be an 8 or higher. It's not a solid game. It's really rocky all around. I didn't even get the achievement for beating all acts of the campaign, but I got the achievement for beating like the final chapter of the campaign. So, yeah, it's got some problems, but I don't recommend it for $60. But if you have Game Pass and you're a fan of Gears, then I do recommend it. Until this game gets patched and whatnot, I would suggest passing on it at least until it gets a pretty considerable price drop. But yeah, I guess that's gonna do it. That's my thoughts on Gears 5 in a nutshell. I'm sure there's a few things I'm forgetting, but they probably aren't that important. Um, so yeah, guys, I'm sorry about this lazy review, but hey, you know what? Lazy unfinished review for a lazy unfinished launch of a game. So yeah, it's kind of fair. Anyway, until next time, thank you for watching.
The Gamer Gods!
Fail!